everyone, Tetrick85 here, and today I'm making another FIFA 21 experiment video, and this time I'm going to be doing it on the football club that I support in real life, Newcastle United, which, at the time of recording this, I am still buzzing about their last-minute draw against Liverpool, even though they got dominated in that game. And it looks as though that Newcastle United may yet survive this season and end up playing Premier League football next season, which I can't believe as a Newcastle fan I'm celebrating just mere survival in the Premier League, which, to be honest with you, this team really should be competing for European football year in and year out, but such is the case of a club being owned by Mike Ashley. Ambitions are quite low, but yeah, you can see the write-up on here. Newcastle United was formed in 1892 when Newcastle East End absorbed rival club Newcastle West End. Sorry, I don't know what it is about these experiment videos. I talk like a moron, but they've been crowned champions 4 times and have won the domestic cup on 6 occasions. They took part in the first ever Football League match to be played under floodlights when they faced Portsmouth in 1956. But anyway, we're not going to play a normal career mode. Like I said, this is going to be a experiment video. And the experiment is whether or not, well, it's not a, I think they'll survive in the Premier League, but where would this team finish if their former players came back and was still with the team instead of its current squad? But anyway, without further ado, by the way, hopefully you guys have a good day today. You'd see that Newcastle starts off with a transfer budget of 30 million euros with a $45,000 wage budget. But I disabled not only the transfer window, but I also disabled European competition, which I should have been doing that to begin with. But let's look at the objectives. Domestic Cup, they want us to reach around the 16. And they want us to qualify for the Champions League. That's going to be quite lofty considering the squad that we have, which I'm going to show you here right now. But yeah, I picked 30 of Newcastle United's former players. And here's a look at the starting 11. And you can see here's Luke de Jong, not to be confused with Siem de Jong. Plays for Sevilla in real life. I think this guy would have been a hit at Newcastle had he been playing in the right position. He played under Alan Pardew, and he would constantly put de Jong in the wrong position. He usually put him out in the wing. And he's just not that kind of player. He's meant to be a striker. Ayoze Perez, one of my favorite players when he was at Newcastle, had the fingers in the ear celebration, which I love. Plays for Leicester in real life. Florian Thauvin, one of my favorite players of all time in FIFA. Again, one of those that I didn't feel quite got a fair shake. He really didn't get enough games. I know a lot of people said that he wasn't strong enough to be in the Premier League, but I think he just needed some time to grow, and I think they pulled the plug on him a little bit too soon. Mikel Merino would still be at Newcastle had Real Sociedad not activated his release clause. I thought he was a really good for us when he was with us. Same with Jorginho Wijnaldum. He was actually part of the squad that got relegated back in the 2015-2016 season. But I thought he was a pretty decent player too, although he didn't really do well. He did good on home games, but not so much on away games, which was kind of concerning. Valentin Lazaro, I have him as right mid, even though he was on loan last year from Inter Milan. I thought he had an off and on season, but I thought he had more good moments than bad. Danny Rose, another one of our loanees from last season. We got him from Tottenham out on loan. Of course, he's back with them right now, but wasn't too bad of a player. James Milner, I don't know how many people realize that James Milner actually, one of his first clubs was with Newcastle United before he made it big with Man City and Liverpool, but I'm going to have him, even though he's a center mid, I'm going to have him as a center back because, to be honest with you, Newcastle United does not have a lot of good, high-rated former center backs, so I'm going to deputize him as center back. You can see he has a high defensive work rate, which is good enough for me. Same with Debussy. Even though he's a right back, he can play as a center back. I'm going to put him in there. He has a medium defensive work rate, which may be a problem, but again, I really didn't have any decent center backs to put in there. Kevin Mbabu is another one of those players that I felt slipped through the net. I thought that we got rid of him before he realized his potential with us, but He's been doing really good at Wolfsburg right now in the Bundesliga. He's only 25 years of age. Seems to me that he's younger than that. I thought he was 23 or 24, but he's still got decent potential. I think he has like 82, 83 potential. And Matt Sells goes in the category of, I don't know why Newcastle bought this guy to begin with. Hey there, Nathan. But, not that he's a terrible goalkeeper, but I don't think he was the goalkeeper that Newcastle needed at the time that he was signed, especially when we were at the championship. Well, our most recent championship season back 2016-17, before we got promoted back up. He got a 79 rating as far as the squads that I have on here. I think he's 78 in the latest squad updates, but you can see the bench here. Fraser Forster plays with Southampton in real life. Chancellor Mbemba can either play as a center-back or a right-back. He'll be my backup center-back, plays with Porto in real life. Jethro Willems, which I thought was one of the really good players that we got on loan from Eintracht Frankfurt. There are rumors that we may pick him up on a permanent this summer, though. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I mean, if anything happens transfer-wise at Newcastle, it's going to be surprising. Moussa Sissoko was among the squad alongside Gini Wijnaldum that got relegated back in 2015-2016. And the fact that a Newcastle team that had both Moussa Sissoko and Wijnaldum in the midfield and still managed to get relegated is beyond me. But having said that, the fact that Newcastle got 35 million euros for him is criminal. And, well, Gini Wijnaldum went to Liverpool, and he's been killing it so far for Liverpool, but Sissoko not so much. Kennedy, we did have him out on loan. We had him out on loan for 2 seasons, but first season he was with us, he was fantastic. Second season he was with us, he wasn't that good at all. I honestly thought he was garbage, but anyway, he's out on loan at Granada from parent club Chelsea. Andrew Townsend, which is a player that's been rumored to come back to us but never has. He plays for Crystal Palace. Can play at either right mid or striker. And a player that I've had a soft spot for, though his ill discipline ended up costing him a spot in the squad, and that's Alexander Mitrovic, who plays for Fulham in real life. He's been battling injuries, but he's a player that I really, really liked. And it's sad to see him go, but I do understand why Rafa pulled the plug on him. You can see Solomon Rondon, another fantastic player that we ended up getting on loan from West Brom. Now he plays for Spartak Moscow in real life. Adam Armstrong, hey there, Casey. Plays for Blackburn. And this is another one like Mbabu that I felt that we got rid of a little bit too soon. Same with Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney just moved to Brentford this season from Peterborough United. And he's been absolutely fantastic for Brentford for them. And if they end up getting promoted to the Premier League, Ivan Toney is going to be a big reason why. Jose Luna is one of those players that was awful for us when he played for Newcastle, but has been pretty good. Well, decent anyway for Alaves over in La Liga, despite them facing relegation. DeAndre Yedlin leaving this past January. He's going to Galatasaray. He's a former player now. Grant Hanley plays for Norwich, got recently promoted with him, so that's going to be nice to see him again. We got him from Blackburn, if I'm not mistaken. Mehdi Albaid, I think, plays for Nantes in real life and over in Ligue 1. Player that I never really saw all that often. You could argue that he really didn't get his fair shot either. Hatem Ben Arfa, one of the best players I've ever seen wear a Newcastle shirt. He was absolutely amazing when he was with us. It's just with fitness issues and there was a bit of attitude issues. Things just didn't really work out the way they meant to for Ben Arfa, and that's a shame because he really could have been a pivotal player for us. Dale Janmat, I didn't think he was too bad for us at right back. Plays for Watford in real life. David Santon could have been a good player for us, but was injury prone, and I think he plays for Roma in real life right now. James Tavernier, I think he plays for Rangers in real life. We ended up loaning him out to a few clubs, if I'm not mistaken, and Rangers ended up buying him on a permanent. And last but not least, Tim Krul. Like what Grant Hanley ended up getting promoted with Norwich City. He will be playing Premier League football next season. One of my favorite goalkeepers. He's probably my second favorite goalkeeper to come from Newcastle behind Shay Given. But yeah, these are your 30 former Newcastle players that I have in the squad. And who better to manage this team than the late Glenn Roeder, who sadly passed away earlier this season. I think he had a brain tumor, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I figured I'd honor him by playing, well, managing as him. But per usual, I'm going to sim to the end of the season. But yeah, I don't know how the board expects us to reach the Champions League with the roster that we have. I don't think it's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'll be happy. Well, I'm going to be happy if we keep our jobs. But if we finish in the top 10 with this Newcastle team, I'm going to be extremely happy. Because, to be honest with you, I think this is the weakest team that I've put together thus far of former players. Schalke's was pretty decent. Fiorentina's was pretty decent. But Newcastle's squad is a bit sketchy right now. Okay, let's see if we reach the round of 16 in any cup competitions. Okay, looks like we played Burnley in the Carabao Cup. But yeah, I've been supporting Newcastle for over a quarter century now, and I know that things are looking bleak right now under Mike Ashley, but I just can't stop loving this club. I mean, I fell in love with the club when I found out Alan Shearer was playing for the team, and I vowed to myself, well, I ended up finding Alan Shearer whenever England was playing their qualifiers for Euro 1996. And I was watching him play, and I was blown away. I'm like, I gotta figure out what team this guy plays for, and evidently that's whenever he signed, he had just signed for Newcastle United. And I said to myself, that's the team I'm gonna support. So that's ended up how I've become a Newcastle United fan. I've been a fan ever since, and I always will be a fan. I don't care what division this team plays in. I mean, as bad as what the season's been, you know, it could be worse. We could be like Sunderland and languishing in League One, though they are in the playoff picture, which I'm kind of hoping they don't get promoted. But I think it's nice that Newcastle and Sunderland are doing the social distancing of being 2 divisions apart. So I'd like to keep it that way if possible. But yeah, I've always loved Newcastle. As a matter of fact, I have 3 Newcastle shirts that I own in real life. I own the away kit from, I believe it was 97, 98. It's the blue shirt with the yellow trim on it. I own the shirt that they wore back in, I believe 2010, 2011 was the last time they finished in the top 5. They ended up clinching a spot in the Europa League. I got that shirt, and I also got their the 2003-2004 away shirt, which was the black shirt with the gray trim and the gray under armpit area. I always thought I liked those kits as well. But oh, I just noticed that we play. I'm gonna have to see if we beat Sunderland. I'll know here next month if we have a cup game. Yep. So we end up beating. I wonder what the score of that game was. But yeah, the news is starting up again about a potential takeover, which at this point, you know, I'll believe it when I see it. When it comes to anything takeover related, I just turn a blind eye. I'm like, you know what, I've been down this road many, many times, and I'm sure a lot of Newcastle fans agree with me that we're just sick of hearing about. We just want Mike Ashley out of our club. We want him out of our hair. We want somebody new in there that's competent that can actually take this team to the level that it should be at and reach the potential that I know the club can reach, because this team, in my opinion, is still a big club and has massive potential. It just needs some tender love and care, and this team can go places. And I would love to see this team in the Champions League again. I remember back in the early 2000s, well, late 90s, early 2000s, seeing this team in the Champions League, and I was just tickled pink. But yeah, where would a team of Newcastle rejects finish in the Premier League? Let's find out. They finished 9th, which I'm happy with that. I know the board wanted me to reach the Champions League, but with the squad that I had, there was absolutely no chance of that happening. But yeah, we finished 9th, 17 wins, 8 draws, and 13 losses. Man, I would love for this team to finish in the top half of the table in real life. Manchester City just eking out a Premier League title over Liverpool. Arsenal and Manchester United end up making up rounding up the top 4. Spurs finished in 5th. Wolves finishing in 6th, which is nice to see. Wolves is one of those teams I have a soft spot for. And the teams that got relegated were Aston Villa, Sheffield United, and Fulham. Take a look at the other competitions. FA Cup will be played between Manchester City and Liverpool. Okay, we went to a replay. We ended up losing a replay 2-1 to Arsenal. Okay. We beat Sunderland 2-0, which is awesome to see. We ended up shutting them out. Earlier in the season, Manchester City ended up doing a double by beating Wolves 2-1. How did we do in the we reached the 4th round where we ended up losing to Middlesbrough, which is a rivalry game. That's the Tyne Tees derby, whereas the Sunderland match is a Tyne-Wear derby. But yeah, I disabled Champions League and Europa League for this, but let's take a look at the championship. Who finished where in the championship? So Watford and Bournemouth would be going straight back up. Nottingham Forest, Brentford, Reading, and Bristol City would round out the top 6. Norwich wouldn't even get a playoff spot considering how good they are in real life. And the teams that got relegated from the championship are QPR, Coventry City, and Wycombe. And let's take a look at League 1 real quick. Sunderland ended up getting promoted alongside Wigan, Portsmouth, Ipswich, Blackpool, and Peterborough ended up getting playoff spots there. But take a look at the squad here real quick. So De Jong grew to an 82, Marino grew to an 82, Wijnaldum's at an 86, and Babu grew to an 82. Milner dropped to 79, Debussy dropped to 77, Rose dropped to 77, Sells grew to an 80. Townsend got hurt at some point, Micho grew to 78, Sissoko went down to 77, Williams grew to 78. See, Rondon dropped, Jose Lu dropped, Ben Arfa dropped, Hanley dropped. Yedlin, I think, no, Yedlin stayed the same. Tavernier grew a little bit. And I think Santon grew by 1. One last thing before we end here. Just take a look at some of the stats. Who was our leading goal scorer in the Premier League? We have 2. We got Kennedy and Mitrovic, each with 10 goals, which is awesome to see. Nice to see Mitro in there. Top assister, do we have anybody that's in the... No, we don't even have anybody as in the top 25 of assists. Matt Sells ended up getting 10 clean sheets, was really impressive. Bernd Leno getting the most clean sheets there. Forster ended up getting a couple clean sheets, so he must have filled in for Sells at some point. Take a look at the FA Cup. Anybody... De Jong got 3 goals, which is pretty cool. Assists. Nobody with assists. And clean sheets. Forster got 1. And let's look at the Carabao Cup. Rondon ended up getting 2 goals for us in the Carabao Cup. Assists, De Jong got 2 assists in the Carabao Cup, which is the first time I've seen a Newcastle player in the assist column in any of these competitions. Matt Sells got 2 clean sheets for us. It doesn't look like Forster did anything for us in the Carabao Cup. But yeah, I managed to keep my job. At the same time, we did fairly objective. We did not reach a Champions League spot, which is what I thought to begin with, considering how weak our squad was in terms of former players. Hey there, K-Fresh. But we did reach the round of 16 in the Cup, which is nice considering for the longest time Newcastle couldn't even get out of the first round that they were in, whether it be round 3 of the FA Cup or round 2 of the Carabao Cup. They would end up getting knocked out of the Cup competitions immediately. So it's nice to at least make a little bit of a run in both the Cup competitions. And I just realized that we're almost 20 minutes in this video. I really rambled on way too much, but you get a club that I love like Newcastle United. I just can't help it. So a team of Newcastle rejects would finish 9th. Well, in terms of this FIFA 21 experiment. But as long as we finished in the top half of the table, that was good enough for me. And the board can pretty much do whatever. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. I'll be seeing you guys again next time.